Hey, what's going on guys? It's Young here and today I'm back with another Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys the advantages and disadvantages of high and low sensitivity so you guys will know which one is better here in the current season and which type of sensitivity you guys should use. So definitely stay tuned in the video if you guys want to know if high or low sensitivity is better in this current season. And real quick, before we get into the video, up on the screen I have the VBuck giveaway winner of this week. I give away VBucks every single Friday, so if you guys would like to participate in the next giveaway and win a free VBuck card worth 2,800 VBucks, all you guys have to do is simply drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell and drop a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. I will be giving out one of these cards every single Friday. I will share the screenshot of the winner in the video, so make sure you guys stay updated if you are interested in winning free V-Bucks. And lastly, if you guys want to support me in the item shop, just go down to the bottom right, hit on support a creator, type in creator code YoungHumor, and you guys will have me supported in the item shop as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys if low or high sensitivity is better in this current season. So first, I want to talk about what exactly is low sensitivity, because my definition of what low sensitivity is could be different from what you guys think low sensitivity is. So I want to make it really clear on what I consider low sensitivity. So I really want to be talking about the look horizontal and vertical speed first, and there's also low and high sensitivity for build mode, edit mode, and really any setting that they have here. Because the reason I want to talk about the horizontal and vertical first is because for your build and edit mode, it's actually a multiplier of that speed. So a 1.0x is just simply going to match the same sensitivity of your horizontal and vertical speed. So for example, if I'm on a 30% horizontal and vertical speed, then my build mode and edit mode sensitivity will be exactly the same because there's a 1.0. It's not adding or subtracting any sensitivity from it. So as you can see, it's going to be exactly the same between when I pull out my gun versus when I bring my builds out. And if I raise it to a 50%, even though I'm still on a 1.0x, it's going to be faster than it was on a 30%. So I'm going to be talking about the horizontal and vertical speed first. So what I would consider low is anything under, to give a exact number, I would consider probably about 45% and under is going to be on the low end. For your build and edit mode, I think a 1.9x and below is going to be what I would consider a low sensitivity. And then when it comes to your aim down sights, it's going to be a 0.09, which I'll show here in just a second. But as you can see here with a 1.9x and a 45%, it is relatively low. And as I just mentioned, a 9% for your aim down sight sensitivity is going to be what I would consider low, or anything under that. So here are the low sensitivities. If you have this or under for any of these categories, I would consider that to be low for that specific category, because you can have a low X and Y sensitivity and then a high building. But as far as the advantages, just talk about all the advantages of a low sensitivity. For building, it's going to be a lot easier to have precise and exact build placements, because on a lower sensitivity, you have a lot more control over your crosshair. So a low sensitivity is going to give you more of a smooth feel over your builds rather than a fast one, because you're going to feel more in control of every build that you place. So that is also a really good thing to have for a low sensitivity. The next advantage, being on a low X and Y sensitivity, is going to be hip firing at close range. It's going to feel really strong. The aim assist just feels great, and you're going to be able to hit a lot more shots close range with a low sensitivity than a high sensitivity, just because you have a lot more control over your crosshair on a low versus high sensitivity. So close range is a big advantage of a low sensitivity. And also having a lower aim down sights is going to allow you to hit those long range shots with your assault rifle much easier than a high sensitivity, because you're able to make those precise adjustments with your crosshair much easier on lower sensitivities than on high sensitivities. So long range shots with your assault rifles is a really great advantage of being on a low sensitivity. Now, next, I want to talk about some of the disadvantages. So being on a low sensitivity is just going to make it a lot harder to get off edits the closer you are to the wall. So with a low editing sensitivity, the closer you are to the wall, the more you have to go across your screen, and it's going to be much more difficult to do so. Resetting edits is a little bit slower because when you reset an edit, a lot of times you're going to have your gun out, meaning you're going to be using your X and Y sensitivity to go back over to the build and replace it. And to show you what I'm talking about, I was just here on mouse and keyboard, and you can see it is so much faster on a higher sensitivity to reset your structures than it is on a low sensitivity. And that goes for any edit in the game. So if you want to edit and then shoot, you have to edit, shoot, and then look all the way over to reset the build. But if you're on a faster sensitivity or mouse and keyboard, that movement is going to be much cleaner and smoother. Another big disadvantage, if you were getting shot or third-partied from multiple directions, it's going to be a lot harder to get out of the fights. If your sensitivity is too low, it can be very difficult for even close-range fights, because if the player jumps over top of your head or just gets at an awkward angle, you're not going to be able to hit them. Another disadvantage could be going for the side jumps. If you don't already have perfect crosshair placement on that target, you're just not going to be able to flick and hit that person who's above you. And this really is a big disadvantage of being on too low of an X and Y sensitivity, just because you're not going to be able to turn around quick enough. And aiming down sights close range also isn't that good. But good news is you really don't aim down sights close range at all, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. So going into what I would consider a high sensitivity, so I just showed you my low. So what I think a high sensitivity is anything over about a 48 to 50%. 50% is definitely on the high end, but I would consider the sensitivity starting to get high at about 48%. The build mode and edit mode right around 2.2x, and then for your aim down sights, around the 11 is kind of mid. I would say 12 to 14 and up is going to be on the higher end for your aim down sights, and all these settings are linear, by the way. So these are what I would consider. Anything above this, I would typically consider a higher sensitivity setting. And I want to show you guys the advantages and disadvantages of these sensitivities. So first of all, I want to show you the advantages. So being on a high building and edit mode sensitivity is just really great overall for the most part, because you're able to feel very quick. You're very snappy with your builds. Edits when you're close to the wall don't feel sluggish or hard to do. So that's going to be one of the biggest advantages of a high sensitivity for building and editing. It's just a lot better overall for being quicker and more snappy with your builds. And a lot of really good players and pro players do typically play on a higher build and edit mode sensitivity, because it is just a little bit quicker and snappy. So another advantage is you're able to go for these flick shots significantly easier than a lower X and Y sensitivity player would be able to. Resetting edits feels a little bit quicker because you're able to go back over to the part of the wall which you need to edit and reset. You can do that a little bit quicker. Mid-range and close range aim down sights feels really good. It feels quick. You feel like you're able to lock on your target pretty easily, and you're going to be able to hit your shots aiming down sight from this range much easier than on a low sensitivity, because if they quickly jump to your left or right, your sensitivity could be just too low to track them. So that is another great advantage of being on a higher sensitivity. And going into the disadvantages, one could be crosshair placement, because if your sensitivity is too high, you're going to be misplacing a lot of builds, which is really bad for in a game where you don't have many materials, because if you waste too many of your mats, it's just going to be really hard to recover those builds. And another disadvantage of being on a high X and Y sensitivity is close range shots really aren't the strong suit of the sensitivity. It's just going to be hard to line up your shots. You're going to be overcorrecting way too much, or even undercorrecting. So that's pretty much all the disadvantages of a high sensitivity. So to sum up and show you guys what the best sensitivity ideally is. So more than likely, people would want to be playing on a lower to maybe mid X and Y sensitivity. I would not recommend being above a 50%, because there really just is no advantages of playing on that high of a sensitivity. Anywhere in the ranges of like 42 to 46% is going to be pretty meta, and which you would probably want to have unless you just prefer something completely different. As far as your build mode and edit mode, you want to be on the higher end. When you're on the low end, it does feel a lot smoother, but the problem is it's just going to be very difficult to fight multiple players with a low building and editing sensitivity, and you're just not going to be able to keep up with really sweaty players. So being on a higher building edit mode sensitivity, like a 2.2 to 2.4, is great to have. And going down to the aim down sights, you want to be on a low aim down sights for the most part, because you will aim down sights more often than not just at long ranges, and that's where the sensitivity shines, because at close range you're going to be hip firing. You're almost never going to be aiming down your sights point blank, so having a low ADS just makes the most sense overall for the season. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you were able to find for yourself whether you thought high sensitivity or low sensitivity were better, and just my overall thoughts and opinions on both. But with that being said, drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you are new, hit the notification bell so you guys get notified for every single time I re-upload a new video. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I will see you in the next video.